أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. Again, a very short surah. We will start from the first ayah, inshallah. And as you will find, the first ayah for this surah is actually a topic of discussion among the scholars, extensive discussion among the scholars, I should say, in terms of what this lam is at the beginning. But let's actually look at it, and then we will get into that discussion. So, according to one of the analysis, which is what I'm going to capture here, and then I'll show you the other ones as well. Li-ilaf. So, li harf jar followed by ilaf and then Quraish. So li being harf jar and ilaf being ism majroor, and then ilaf is also mudaf, and Quraish is mudaf ilayhi. Okay. So this part is easy. Now the question is, what is this jar wa majroor muta'alliq about? What is this related to? Because normally that's what we see in wherever we have a jar majroor, that it is always muta'alliq something. And for it to come at the beginning of the ayah, it is actually kind of unusual. We have not seen that before. So one of the explanations is that this jar majroor is actually muta'alliq bil fi'l ya'budu. Okay, which is coming later in the surah, okay, when it says فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. So this li'ilaf jar wa majroor is actually muta'alliq that fail, but it is brought in the beginning. So that is one of the explanations. And if, as I have captured it in the notes, inshallah, it will be available once I upload this. And like I said, it has been a source of debate among many scholars about this particular lam, which comes at the beginning in the ilaf. So one of the explanations is exactly what I just mentioned, that this is related to the verb ya'budu. Okay. Another explanation is that this lam is to express wonder, ta'ajjub. And there's an example which is given in one of the dictionaries is that Arabs would say, لِزَيْدٍ وَمَا صَنَعْنَا بِهِ. Okay. And what that really means is, you'll have to look at the translation. Look at Zaid, how good we did with him and what he did with us. Okay. لِزَيْدٍ وَمَا صَنَعْنَا بِهِ. Okay. And so this bringing the lam at the beginning of the sentence essentially can have a meaning of sharing or expressing ta'ajjub about that, about some situation, or in this case, about the behavior of Zaid, that look at his attitude, look at the way he behaves, even though we have done so well with him, but he behaves so badly with us. Essentially, that is the purpose of Islam. And if we use this explanation, then this ayah, and now I'm kind of jumping ahead here because normally we look at the translation or the meaning afterwards, but in this case, because this is a different I'rab, I thought I should actually explain what the meaning is. How strange is Quraysh's attitude that Allah has blessed them by giving them security. And once we look at the meaning of ilaf, we will understand that that's one of the meanings for ilaf, giving them security, their security during their winter and summer journeys, and even then they're refusing to worship Him, meaning refusing to worship Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Okay? So that is another explanation for the Islam coming at the beginning of the surah. And the third one, which is quite interesting as well, is that this jar majur is actually related to the text in the previous surah, which is Surah al-Fil. So in that context, the translation basically means that Allah made them. So this is the last ayah of the previous surah is فَجَعْلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَعْكُولٍ, and He made them like eaten straw, okay, like eaten dry leaves. So Allah made them like eaten straw, and then it continues لِإِلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ, for giving Quraysh the security, which is and the security during the trade journeys of winter and summer and so on. Okay, so in other words, Allah defeated the armies of Abraha in order to strengthen and give Quraysh that security, that edge over all the other tribes in the region, so that they can live in that accustomed security, and can do their journeys. Okay, so that is another explanation. And then there is a point which is mentioned in that explanation, that one of the Sahabi, Hazrat Abi ibn Qab, he had a mushaf, and in that mushaf, these two surahs were not separate surahs, but rather they were both connected. Okay? They were only one. But then it also says that this is not the opinion of the majority of the scholars. And also in the Musaf Usmani, which is the most used Musaf across the Muslim world, these are two distinct surahs, and they are separated by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay? And which, of course, you don't see that if they were same surahs, they would not be separate, written separately. And then, but then one other explanation that is given on similar lines is that this jar majrur is still related to a word which is omitted, and it is estimated to ihlaku ashabil fil li'ila fi Quraysh. Okay. So they say this ihlak, so this ihlaku ashabil fil, this part is omitted, but it is understood, and the rest of is given. Now, what this approach does is that it basically keeps the two surahs separate, but then it connects them in meaning, which is essentially what this overall explanation was. So I've captured some other places where you can refer to Lane's lexicon, actually, even though it's a Arabic to English dictionary. When it comes to this particular word, ilaf, they actually have a fairly long explanation for this particular passage of the Quran. And he talks about some of these explanations which I've given above. Also, the Anwarul Bayan fi halil Lughat al-Quran is also talks about these different explanations, as well as Muhyiddin Darwesh's I'rab dictionary. So please do take a look at it if you would like to look deeper into these. We will go with the explanation that I just mentioned above, which is that لإلاف جار ومجرور is متعلق بالفعل يعبدوا, and Quraysh is مضاف إليه. And then, well, quickly let's look at the meanings. The ilaf, okay. Ilaf comes from the root verb being alafa ya'lifu, which is a bab daraba. Also, another spelling is alifa ya'lafu ilfan, which is bab sami'a. And the meaning is to be acquainted, to be accustomed to something, to be familiar with something, to be on a friendly terms with something. Okay. And the form 2 bab taf'il is allafa yu'allifu ta'lifan, with the zarf baina, means to compile, to reconcile. And form 3 first. Form 3, alafa yu'alifu mu'alafatan and ilafan. Okay. Means to frequent some place. Okay. To keep going back to some place as a habit. Okay. to become familiar with something, accustomed, habituated. So somewhat similar to the meaning which is in Sulasi Mujarrad. And form 4, alafa yu'lifu ilafan. Ilafan is a word that we are actually dealing with in this particular ayah, ilafan, which is a masdar for form 4, bab ifal, has the same meaning as form 3, okay? But also has an additional meaning of to make something as 1000. So if something was close to 1000, so adding something more to it to make it 1000. Okay? So elaf itself means the act of making something secure, accustomed to security, and to habituate a place. And then, of course, I just wanted to add one more word here, alf, which means 1000. Okay, has dual alfan. The jamukilla is alaf. Otherwise, the regular plural is ulufun, 1000. Okay, so elaf. Okay, the meaning uh, that I think we can use here is um, for the accustomed security لإلاف قريش. Okay. Quraish comes from qarasha yaqrishu or yaqrushu. Okay, both bab daraba and bab nasara. Qarshan means to gnash, to nibble, crunch or chew. Quraish itself is on a version of fa'il. Okay. There are many names that we actually know which are on this version. So it's a ismul alam. It is actually a proper noun with the, and then fa'il is actually a version for tasghir, for diminutive form. Now, the most common usage is it's the name of that Meccan tribe in which the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was born and reared. Um, but it also has a meaning of a small or beautiful shark. Okay, and actually, one dictionary went even to the extent of saying that they were named, the tribe was named as such because they behaved like a shark. Okay, because of their behavior, they were not very big in terms of the overall tribes, but then they were quite dangerous because the way they behaved to everybody around. Okay? Allah knows best. So again, we will go with the name of the Meccan tribe as a meaning, and we'll just use it as is for this accustomed security of the Quraysh. For the accustomed security of the Quraysh. Now, I know that this, by looking at this ayah itself, we still don't fully understand how it fits in the overall surah. Inshallah, once we get to that ayah, which the Falja Abdur Bahadul Bayt, inshallah, then we will understand what this particular, the first ayah is related to it, how is it related to it, and what does that mean? Brother Nisar, please go ahead.
What type of sentence is going to be? It's tajar majroor al madaf ilahi. So it can't, it's no fail in there, so it could be ismiya.
No. So again, so this is not a independent sentence.
Okay.
This is muta'alliq bil fi'l ya'budu. So if we go with that analysis, then that sentence is basically the main sentence, and this is simply a part of that sentence. Okay. So now there is some interesting aspect of that falja abudu rabba hadal bayt itself. So once we get there, it basically that itself is a jawab of a shart, and shart itself is mahzuf.
Yes, that's what I was wondering. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it is actually a part of a, so that falja abudu rabba hadal bayt is part of a shartiya sentence, and this is part of that as well.
Sentence. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Just a
Yeah. Ayah number 2. Ilafihim rihlat ash-shita, it was safe. So here, ilafi, so there are going to two words here, ilafi and him. Ilafi is badal for the first ilaf that we saw in the beginning of the, or at the start of the first ayah. وهو مضاف, and him is مضاف إليه. رحلة, رحلة is مفعول به, okay, مفعول به, and the amil for this مفعول به is ilafi, okay, which itself, as we know, which saw, it's a masdar, and masdar and ism al-fa'il and ism maf'ul are some of the nouns which can make maf'ulun bihi, because each one of them contain an action. So ilaf in ilafihim is actually the masdar which is making this rehlata as maf'ulun bihi mansubun. Wa huwa mudaf, and shita'i is mudaf ilayhi. Was saif arfu atf, and then as-saif is ma'tufun ala ash-shita. Okay. So ilafim rehlata shita'i was saif. So we will use the same meaning that we did before. Their accustomed security. Rehlata. Okay. Rehla comes from rahala yarhalu, rahlan or rahilan. Bab fataha means to saddle a camel, or to travel, or to depart, or to set out. Rahal itself means the camel saddle itself, also means travel gear, luggage. Also has a meaning of a stopping place as part of the journey. Rehla, which is the word that we are using in this ayah, means a travel, journey, trip, tour. And then another commonly used word we use in Urdu is marhala. Okay? Plural being marahil, which is mamnu min as-sarf. A day's journey, okay, also means a stage or a phase. Okay, we normally use it for a phase or a stage, marhala. Okay, so ilafihim rehlatash, of the journey, shita. Okay, I've taken the notes, won't go into too much detail, but basically shata yashtu, which is sheen ta waw, to pass the winter, and then shitaun, plural being ashtiyatun, means winter or rainy season. Okay, and then saif, let's look at that also. Swad ya fa, okay, safa yasifu, saifan, to spend the summer, and the word saif itself means summer. Okay, of the journey of the winter and the, okay, it is well known from history that the trade caravans of Quraysh used to actually make their way to south in Yemen in the winter, and then in towards the north, the present day Syria, in the summer. Okay? And all during this time, they had they were accustomed to being secure. Okay, because of the geopolitical situation in that area, they were, Quraysh were a respected tribe for being the protectors of the house of Allah. So they were given that security by all the other tribes, which other tribes did not have by themselves, but Quraysh basically enjoyed that security, and that is essentially what is being referred to here. So we go to ayah number 3. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. So here we have fa, there are a lot of part of this word, and then a lam, and then ya'budu, and then the waw. Yeah, let's look at each one of them separately. So this fa is al-fa'u waqi'atu fi jawab al-shart mahzuf. Okay, and we will add to it, inshallah, exactly what it is, what is the estimation for it. And then lam is lamu amr, ya'budu is fi'l mudari majzoom, waw is damir muttasil fi mahalli raf'in fa'il. Okay, let's complete this and then we'll come to the estimation for the shart part, inshallah. Rabba is maf'ulun bihi to the verb ya'budu wa huwa mudaf, and hadha is ismul ishara mabni ala sukun fi mahalli jarrin mudaf ilayhi. And then al-bayt is badal. Okay, remember the rule we learned, and it applies here. If you have a noun decorated with al, which is coming after an ismul ishara like hada, then that noun can be badal. Many a time it is badal. It can also be khabar, but many times it is badal. In this case, definitely it makes sense for it to be badal. Okay. Now let's look at this. Like this is the jawab of a shart, but where is the shart? Okay. So let's add our footnote here. Okay. The shart is, okay, so there are a couple of things that I found in some dictionaries. Illam ya'buduhu, if you don't worship him, li sa'iri ni'amihi, for the many available blessings of him. Okay, if you don't worship him for many of the given blessings of him, okay, then it says fal ya'buduhu, fal ya'buduhu, or fal ya'budu. Actually, I should use the same as in the ayah. Rabba hazal bayt. And then you can now add li'i la fi Quraishan, for the accustomed security of the Quraysh. Okay, so if you don't worship him for the many given blessings of him, then worship him, worship the Lord of this house for that security of Quraysh that he has given to you, that the security of Quraysh that he has given to you. Okay, and a slightly different estimation that is given is illam. It's just small difference. Ya'buduhu li ayatin ni'matin, and then falja wudu rabba hazal bayt. Okay, if you don't worship him for any other ni'mah, if you don't worship him for any other ni'mah, then at least worship him for this security that he has given to you. I mean, of course, you can tell it is not. I mean, it's not within their own hand to get that security, because they basically have no. They are not a military power. They are not economic power. They don't really have anything with them. But even then, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has given them that kind of strength by making them the owners of His house. That, and then that is also kind of I mean, there's a reference to Rabba Hadal Bayt, that that they are that you are he's the Lord of this house. Okay. So anyway, so that's what the shart and the jawabu shart estimation is. So wanted to bring that to you. And then if you look at the meanings, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا, so I think we know the meaning of abada ya'budu ibadatan, to worship. Okay. They should worship the Lord of this bayt, okay, of this house. I think bayt, we know the meaning of it, but there is a sulasi mujarrad verb behind it. Bata yabitu. It's a ajwah ya'i verb. Mabitan, mabatan, baitan. Those are the masdar. To pass or spend the night. Okay. Also has the meaning of sara yasiru, to become. Bayt, the plural being buyut, has the meaning of house or dwelling. So they should worship the Lord of this house. And again, we talked about what was the shart, that if they don't worship him for any other reason or for any other blessing, then they should worship him for this security that they are given, okay, which is clearly miraculous. Okay, so that is essentially, now this is how the Quraish is connected back to this primary sentence, which came in ayah number 3. Ayah number 4. الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. Okay. الذي here is نعت li Rab. Okay, of course it's a ismul mausul, so it'll be followed by silatul mausul, and that's what we are seeing here. At'amahum, at'ama followed by whom. At'ama is fail madi mabni ala fatha, fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa, and this huwa goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hum is ma'fulun bihi, and then min ju jar wa majroor. Okay, and of course this whole thing here until the end is silatul mausul, la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Wa amanahum, wow, and then amana, and then hum. Okay, wow is harfu atf, amana is fi'l madi mabni ala fatha, fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa, again go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hum is maf'ulun bihi, min khawf jar wa majroor, and this amanahum, this jumla fi'liya is ma'tufun ala at'amahum. At'amahum. Okay. If you look at the meanings, okay, the one who at'ama, okay, ta'ima yat'amu, ta'aman, to eat, to taste. Form 4 is at'ama yut'imu it'aman, to feed someone, to give someone to eat. Okay, we saw that in the other surah as well. So in this case, at'ama is the causative meaning, to feed someone. Okay, the one who feeds them. Okay, min ju, from, the meaning of here min is from, hunger, and then ju means hunger. The root is ja'a. It's ajwaf wawi. Ja'a yaju'u ja'wan. It's very similar to qala yaqulu. Ja'a yaju'u, to be hungry. Ja'un means hunger, and then jaw'an, which we saw many times in Medina books as well. Feminine being jaw'a, and plural being jaya'un, means hungry. So jaw means hunger. From hunger. Okay. Wa amanahum min khawf. Okay. Amana, very commonly used verb in the Quran. Okay. The root, there are two roots actually. Well, I said two verbs with slightly different meanings. Amina ya'manu, amanan, okay, which is a bab sami'a, to be safe or to feel safe. Okay. And then there is another spelling which is amuna ya'munu, amanatan. Okay. The masdar should actually help us understand the meaning. To be faithful, reliable, trustworthy. Okay. We use the word amana quite often in Urdu as well. And then form 4 is amana. Okay, the mad on aleph is actually represents the hamza to ta'diya, and the hamza which is the root. Okay, so amana yu'minu imanan. Okay, so it's a form 4 to make someone secure. Okay, to make someone free from fear. With harfujar b, it means to believe, and with harfujar li, it means to put faith in something or someone. Okay. And while we are at it, khafa, yakhafu, which is a bab fataha, it's a ajwaf wawi, kha, waw, fa, to be afraid or frightened. Okay. And khawf means fear, or worry or concern. Wa amanahum, and he makes them feel safe from fear. And he makes them feel safe from fear. Okay. So again, you can see the connection back to the beginning of the ayah, ilaf, the habit of living in security. Okay, that was given to Quraysh, and typically the security is either security from being attacked, or food security, being having the food that you need to live. And both are mentioned in the last ayah. At'amahum, he is the one who feeds them from hunger, and he also makes them feel secure from fear. Okay. And I was thinking the other day, I mean, where we live here, we actually have we actually live in a state of ilaf as well. We are so accustomed to security. We don't really worry about that some other tribe or somebody is going to basically attack us, or that we won't have the food. And this is the blessing of Allah. This is the blessing of Allah that we should be very thankful for and grateful for.